So upcoming calendar events, June 17th of 26 is the standard
There might
class.
be some up over there if you wanna wait, look and see before you cook yours.
Standard class nationals at Hobbs. Tony's entered in that. And then same location, but different starts 4 days later. Region 9 contest. Mr. Steve Leonard and his brother Ron are signed up to participate in that. So hopefully they have a good time there. All right, we got Dave Wilkes came in. Cowbell is July 4th. So not only July 4th is the 250th celebration, but it's also our cowbell day. So whoever's chasing all those cowbell goers is gonna get to see a lot of fireworks en route, I guess. Tell us which towns have the best fireworks.
What is cowbell? Is that like a big competition?
Oh, yeah, so cowbell, for those who don't know, cowbell is an annual competition and there's a big trophy for it. And what it is, it's a one-way race or task. It's who gets the farthest away from Sunflower.
Okay.
The rules are, we tow them up, you release 2,000 feet up right over the runway. You have to be over the runway for release. And then it's a one-way trip. Who gets the farthest away? Wins cowbell. And then the consolation, spelled with a K, cowbell, is it depends on how far the contestants go on Saturday. It's always on a Saturday. Consolation is Sunday, or it's the following Sunday. Because if everybody gets too far out, you got to have a chance for the crews to get back to compete on the second day. It's a big deal. It's fun. You should come out here and everybody have their vehicles and trailers lined up because chase crews are ready to go once they take off to see what direction they're going to go. Okay. It's interesting. Some years it's not much left, and other years they go New Mexico, West Texas if you're Steve Leonard, Southwest Texas. But that's what cowbell is. Your question.
If you're interested in chasing, maybe
Yeah.
send out an email on Cloud Base, and you might
Question.
find a pilot who doesn't have a crew yet that'd be very happy to get some help.
There you go. Good topic. Right there, you have a volunteer.
Sounds like he wants to chase.
He's not old enough to drive yet.
Yeah.
So July 11th will be our next meeting and cookout here. And then August 2nd through the 13th is the club class nationals here at Sunflower. The first weekend is practice, so we can fly at the same time. The next weekend is contest weekend, so you have to get with the CD coordinator if you want to do any flying, that type of thing. So really, and the whole thing, we only lose one weekend, which isn't bad to hold the nationals and only lose a weekend. We're as far as being able to soar like we normally do. The vintage is September 10th to 13th, and then our end of season cookout is October 24th. Okay. If you all wondered, because a lot of us that are on the boards, we know who's who and all that. Rob's here now. These are your board members for Kansas, for KSA. Okay, my name's Bob Henson. I'm Vice President West. Kurt Bittner's on the road. He's president, otherwise he'd be here. So those are our members, our board members. If you have any questions or who's who. Okay, scheduling. We all volunteer, so we all can fly. We all get to fly because you volunteer. So please sign up on the schedule. That's this month's message. Yeah, if you haven't signed up some more. We'll do that and keep going. We're getting some tow pilots in training, so we'll get a couple more tow pilots here in the next week or two, one more and another one, and as soon as he gets back in July, so we'll get some good tow pilots and also you guys, yeah. So we'll need line crews. So please sign up. We need line crews just as much as we need tow pilots because they make things happen. Okay. Bit of news. Sunflower Soaring Foundation news. New ice machine is located. Yeah, it's located in the furnace utility room. You just flip up that black door and it has a lot of ice. It's just like what you get at a motel, hotel, or below the bar at your favorite bar. So lots of ice. Tony Condon was the one that headed up that project, and it's running smooth and it's good news. There's the big news that everybody else is going to wish they were here for because they're going to know something they don't know. We've got runway work coming within the next 4 weeks. It'll start hopefully in a week, worst case 2 weeks. There's 3 phases to it. There's 6 spots of asphalt they're going to tear up and cut down and redo to get rid of the bad spots. There's 6 of them been identified on the runway. The big news is this is this runway's been resurfaced twice. You know, you've got the smaller gray area and the bigger gray area. We're gonna go 5,000 feet long, 150 foot wide with sealant. It's a two coat sealant. Before they seal, they're gonna go through and do an area of basically 2,000 feet, 150 foot wide, a subset under there's priority because we're not sure how much sealant. But we're gonna give them an authority to go start there and start sealing the cracks, and we'll see how far we get before that bucket of money, you know, how much we spent, because we got a lid on it, so. But that will all happen within the next 4 weeks is what I'm trying to get commitment on. I just signed the contract yesterday. So that's big news. It's been long waited for. That's gonna get rid of the loose rocks out there and all that, because we swept it, they're gonna clean it, and when they seal it, that should make things go a lot better for us all. And then, of course, we'll have to have is it the Kirk and Rob restriping crew or something like that?
With volunteers.
With volunteers, because we'll have to put new stripes and numbers out there after that's done. But we've been needing to do that for a long time, finally gonna get it done, so. That's good news.
And Bob, this is brought to you by the Sunflower Storing Foundation.
You just can't see the
Foundation.
I don't know how to get rid of that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sunflower Storing Foundation that operates the Aerodel is doing that, correct. Yeah, the good news is you're not gonna lose any weekends on this. In the contract states, they will work on the runway Monday through Thursdays only. That way, when they're done on Thursday, wherever they're done, you'll be able to fly on Saturday, no matter what it is. So we won't lose any weekends on it. So we're trying to get it done by first, second week of July.
How long do they think it'll take?
Not very long.
Will they get it done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Or-
Oh, it should be done 4 weeks,
Oh, I see the one.
about 4 to 6 weeks.
I thought that was when it started in
No,
4 to 6 weeks.
No, it's gonna start
that's
hopefully
how
next
long-
week. He's gotta give me the first date. They've gotta run, it runs 3 different crews. There was the repair crew to go first. He's trying to get me there. Hopefully they can start next week. I will coordinate, you know, we have the ag company that flies out of here. So once I get dates from the sealing company, I'll give them to the ag company to make sure they don't try and fly the same day, so. But like I said, it's week, so most of us don't fly during the week. Mike and Bob do. Bob's in Utah and then Nevada for a while, so he'll be gone while this happens, so. To make sure I get it out to Mike and the rest of them. So, like I said, Monday through Thursday, so. That's good news, and the good news, and they were very happy to do it during the week because they normally do parking lots and also they normally work the weekends.
Oh,
So they were real happy to get to work during the week.
that's cool.
He was quite pleased. Any questions on that? That makes sense? So the runway is actually 200 foot wide, so 150 foot will just leave 25 feet on the sides, which we normally don't use anyway. But 5,000 feet, that's gonna be 5,000 of the 7,000 feet out there, so that's a big. And it was, you can see that one gray line, it was done at 5,000 feet. I don't know, 20 years ago or something.
It's been about 20. I think you did a 50-foot wide strip.
Yeah, 50 foot wide wasn't as wide. Yeah, we're gonna go wider. We've got to do something to, you know, make like my discussion with the board is. We can have all the gliders we want. We can have all the buildings we want, but without a runway, we aren't gonna do anything.
Right.
And so we're investing heavily. We got to invest to keep that runway going. So that's what this is. It's a big investment. So, but it needs to be done. Time, a little bit late actually, but we're gonna get it done. Yay.
Awesome.
That's good news. So you guys heard it first. You're gonna tell me, go, what are you talking about? Yeah. That resurface it, I gotta be careful. We're gonna seal it. It's gonna get 2 coats of seal. It's different. We're not gonna grind out asphalt, put down. Then you're getting into Maine, you know, you were thinking grind.
So my yearly rent probably covers a 50-foot long stretch of.
Well, we'll find out when you can put your name. And how big a square you buy. We'll take donations.
You'll throw it at the very end.
Yeah, you put it at the end so you don't wear, it doesn't wear off. There you go. I like that. Good stuff. Okay. Let's get into kiting, because I don't know if everybody knows what kiting is. So this is, yeah, they have a nice little video. No, there it is. So this is a video SSA has as one of their training videos, and it explains in an example, it does it on Condor, what kiting is. So there's the takeoff. Well, hang. Well, here we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me take it back because it goes too quick. Hang on. Pause. Go back. Let it have a full screen. Not there. Okay. A little more. Okay, a little more. There we go. Here we go. This is on takeoff. If you look, see, he's just gone like 20 feet, 30 feet, 90, 30 feet, and he's already kited the toe plate. And they're gonna show a view it from the side so you can see what's going on. Some people caught upset, toe plate upset. If you read literature in Europe, they call them tugs, tug upset. So obviously that is a very dangerous situation. We're gonna talk about why it's dangerous. And you'll notice, and you'll see that more when I get back to the presentation. What's interesting is what you notice how fast that happens. And what is, I call it, it's like a slingshot effect. Yeah, it's a fulcrum. And what's happening is here's the glider, here's the toe plane. The toe plane, once they start going, look what happens when they get above height, look what happens to airspeed. It just goes up very, very quick. And that airspeed, they're stealing that airspeed from the toe plane. And that's why the toe plane can't fly. And in this, by the time that glider is here, the toe pilot's already dead. He's still in the air. He's still in the toe plane, but he cannot survive it because he doesn't have enough altitude or power to get out of it. As soon as you get to there, people think, well, I gotta go. No. When you're there, toe pilot's dead. He just hasn't hit the ground yet. But he's gonna die. And you'll see, we're gonna go through some action reports. It happens, and the difference, as you'll see in some of the, just between here and here, is a matter of 2 seconds or less. That's how fast it goes. So if you're a toe pilot, if any time you feel your tail go up, you pull. Okay. Now, as glider pilots, anytime you lose sight of the toe plane, or you're going to lose sight because you hit a thermal and you're going up and you're going to go past it, you pull. You don't think about, well, how do I get back behind the toe plane? You don't think about what am I going to do because of this? You pull, and then you figure out what you're going to do with that glider. Because you'll see in every single accident, the glider pilot always will. Because the glider pilot can glide, and no matter where it's at or what configuration, we've all been trained how to, if you lose it 200 feet or less, what do? Straight ahead, you land in the field. We've got that in our heads in the back. We're going to live because we will, even you just pull it and you will know what to do because that's what you've always done. Okay. So I'm going to show you some data on, but what people don't realize it happens so fast and you're stealing that airspeed that causes the airplane to stall. And you're going to see accident report and see how low to the ground these things occur and how deadly they are. It's phenomenal. It's not what you think. Okay, kiting. Who's at great at risk of kiting? Is it a student? Is it a student with an instructor? Maybe a low-time pilot or somebody. Is it the first time they flew their glider or within the first few times? Is it an experienced pilot who's overconfident what they're doing, and think they can don't pay attention? Does it only happen to high performance? Is it high performance or is it low performance? Okay. What you're going to see in the data, it isn't who, it is what. It's not who it is that's going to happen. It's what it is that's going to make it happen. As you'll see, when we look, it's kind of interesting. So this is kind of hard to read, but these are accident reports, NTSB on kiting. And I'm going to kind of go through them and you'll see what I'm talking about. First one, ASW 27, high performance glider, CG hook, right? This is the latest one in New York. Surveillance showed glider pitched up at about 200 foot AGL. Rope did not break. And we're going to look at this in 3 stages and you're going to see, and it's going to show a clock and there's only 2 seconds. Is all it took to get in that depth position, okay? Another one, Hot Springs, ground witness stated glider high during left turn of 500, 600 foot AGL. That's what they saw on the ground. Listen to what the glider pilot said. Well, I noticed I was high at 1,500 feet AGL and I had, with release issues and the tow rope did not break. They finally got released. He thought he was 1,500 feet off the ground. The people on the ground said, that shows you how disconnected that glider was from that tow plane when they made that turn. And it only took seconds. And you're gonna see this, you're gonna see a big difference between what the glider pilot says they're at and where the tow plane really is. And that's back to that slingshot and how far out you get so quick. That's what amazed me. Okay. Come on. Another one. This is a 126. So there you got a high performance glider with CG hook. Some people say, well, CG hooks are more prone, blah, 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 blah. You're going to see it happens to everybody. Nose hook, CG hook, whatever. There's not a common or significant. It is salt and pepper. It's what happens, not who's flying it or what they're flying. Second flight of the day. This is in a 126. I mean, you wouldn't think a 126 could kite an airplane and kill the pilot. Sure did. Second flight of the day. Now, I wish Steve Seibel's here, and maybe some of you guys know. I'm not that familiar with the canopy on 126. So he takes off, the canopy comes loose, it starts flapping around, and then it settles down and starts flapping around again. I'm guessing, they never said, I'm guessing it blew off because somehow the glider pilot had his head got hit on the right-hand side. And he landed fine, and the tow pilot died. Second flight, I should have put in the altitude, it was low. Tow pilot stated, here's another Pawnee, Saratoga Springs, same as the top, same location. Tow pilot stated at 20 to 30 feet, the airplane lurched forward and pitched nose down. So his tail came up, all right? Glider pilot stated, glider pitched up, lost sight of the tow plane, released at 150-foot AGL. Good news is they all lived, including the tow pilot. Plane didn't make it, but the tow pilot survived the crash into the trees. And that started at 20 to 30 feet off the ground. And he couldn't recover. And there again, he went wing down into the ground. But it didn't go inverted, I don't think. So that's how the tow pilot survived. But there again, look at the difference. 20 to 30 feet is where the glider pilot felt it. I'm sorry, the tow plane felt it 20, 30 feet. The glider pilot says 150 feet. There's 100 feet difference. Per that diagram. He's already in the kill zone before he even knew that he needed a release. He was already in the kill zone. Next one, glider student with instructor encountered a gust at 300-foot AGL, causing it to move out of position with a slack line. So they blew out, they go to the side, and they got a slack line. Glider student was correcting it when the rope tightened and the glider continued up and left in alarming rate. So imagine that. They get blown to the right, they got a slack line, he starts hitting, well, he doesn't hit it fast enough, what's going to happen? The rope's going to go taut, he's going to throw you up and to the left, and that's when they kited the airplane. Glider instructor took over at that moment, and it took him 3 attempts to release the tow rope. And the investigation says they believe it was because of the side load, because they were so far off to the side. They put it in a bind. Tow pilot stated it was a very turbulent tow. Probably partial air, partial glider, right? And the airplane nose suddenly jerked left at about 35 degrees, of course, before the tail pitched up. Tow pilot difficulty reaching the release and was at 75 feet when able to release right after the glider. So the glider did get released and then the tow pilot released. Okay, minor injuries on that one. So those are not fatal. That's rare. Most of them are fatal. This one again, turbulent conditions, 14 gust and 19. Glider pilot stated that 15 seconds into the flight that the airspeed repeatedly increased and decreased, and it is increasing in amplitude, which says, what are they doing? PIO, right? They don't have control of the glider. In my opinion, that's what it sounds like. During the third or fourth cycle, airspeed cycle, he encountered a high density thermal and briefly lost sight of the tow plane, relocating it below and slightly to the right of the glider. Rope tension was high and he elected to release from the tow. There again, already in the kill zone, dead tow pilot. Time he knew the release, it was unsurvivable by the tow pilot. Isn't that interesting? So this is the one in California. This is the one in Byron, California. And this is what's interesting. This is a surveillance cam. So here's your timestamp, 42 seconds. You got no problem. Right there is the tow plane. It's hard to see, and the glider, okay? Then you get here. See, they're looking fine, right? That's a 46 seconds. That's 4 seconds between there and there. There is only 2 seconds from that frame to that frame, okay? There, now look at where the glider's at, the tow plane. Tow plane's already dead. That close to ground and that glider that high, even if he released then, he would not be able to recover that. 2 seconds, and look at the altitude change. So if you ever think you're gonna kite, or you ever think you're gonna lose sight, you just pull. Because don't worry, you know what to do once you pull. You don't know what to do if you don't pull, because you're not gonna get out of it. And once you pull, you'll know what to do. That's what we gotta just tell everybody. Pull it, you will do fine. You'll be fine. Every time this happens, the glider pilot, I don't care if you're student, instructor, or what, the co-pilot is always fine. I'm sorry, the glider pilot's always fine. So, all right, there again, that's just showing the kinetics. And like I said, 2 seconds or less. Okay, I want to show a video. This is a video of a kiting incident that happened here. But as you'll see, I want to see if I get there. There we go. Here you go. And you can see the clock down at the bottom. It's real time. And that's our 233, the yellow bird. See, getting pushed a little sideways from the crosswind. Having a hard time keeping the little PIO there. And then all of a sudden, watch what happens. Dip out and then boom. Now watch.
Whoa.
You see the tail of the tow plane go up? The only thing that saved our tow pilot and the tow plane was packing up. And you can see he's not over the end of the runway yet. From past the trees.
And as I noticed, the glider end of the rope came up and hit the elevator.
Oh, that's a good put.
Gosh.
That's a good put.
But this, I went through frame by frame and it's a half second from start of pitch up.
Yeah. And see, he did release, but he released after.
He was pulling on it and it probably released the instant the load came on.
Yeah. I don't know, do you know, did the rope break or did it back release? It broke. That's what I would have thought. So I call that one of our pre-kiting near misses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen here and it can happen to us, unfortunately. Okay, now if I can find, there we go. All right. So. Come on, how do I get out?
Escape.
Escape.
That's what I thought.
The arrows pointing at each other in the bottom right.
Oh, there you go. I'll do it.
Should do it.
Exit full screen. There you go. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'll give you some of my examples. Okay. I've had 2 incidences. One was a tow pilot and one is a glider pilot. The one is a glider pilot. I remember watching some high performance gliders go down here and they hit what I call the horseshoe, the rotors off the trees. And they'd get out and they kind of get out of sorts and fight and go, why can't they keep up with that? You know, just use your control, right? While I'm in my duster and I'm going down, I hit one of those, no problem, hit them all the time. Watch him. Tow plane jumps up, no problem, I got it. I jump up, I didn't let it get me very far, I nailed it. And all of a sudden, the tow plane just disappeared. I don't know if he hit sink or what, but I mean, I was level, I was not fighting. He just went ka-chunk. Now, before that, when I got my glider, I run an Audi on my right leg, okay? My release is on above the left leg, okay? I tried this time, I decided I wanted to run the Audi on the left leg, and I made a middle note. In order to reach that release is going to be different when you got the Audi there, right? And I thought, man, I hope I don't have to pull a release. Well, guess what? So many seconds later, I was pulling the release. It dropped, and when it dropped, I just pulled. I didn't think, I just pulled. I was always taught, you don't see, you lose sight. If you look down, look up, you pull. You don't try to find it, you don't do anything, you always pull. And what was amazing was, as fast as that happened, I was still, so I pulled. So I went into instant mode. What do? Trees are in front of me, field to the right. I can make the field. Oh, I can clear the trees. So I turn left, I clear the trees because there's a field there. I can make that field. I get over that field. Well, I can make that field in the set of trees. I can make that. And then I worked my way around to the runway. Like I can land here. I don't need to. I can land there, land there. I had 2 landing spots before I ever made, and I stopped exactly where I took off. Did the recording of it. And I don't know when I kited, but I actually ended up hitting 350 feet above ground. And we were not to the trees. And Bob Blank was flying the tow plane. And when I released, it was a hard release. It wasn't a normal release. It scared me to death. And then I couldn't see, then I was worried about flying us and I couldn't see him. And so I talked to him. I said, hey, I kited you. He goes, I didn't feel anything. I said, good, because that was my intent. He says, all I know, he says, you were back there and you were gone. And he said, I couldn't see you because I'm out to his right. The other thing was, he let the tow plane and me and us drift a little bit to the right with the wind, not a lot. So when I released and came around, I didn't have to do a 270. It was more like between a 180 and a 200. Okay. That gave me, like I said, I landed right where I took off. And all I did was release, put the nose down, land here. Oh, I land there. Your mind will do that. Always release. Your training is such. I did not realize how good that training works till that day. Other incident. I'm in the tow plane. I'm taking off, and it's another crosswind day. It's a bumpy day. And it's a person who hasn't flown in a while and they're rusty, so they're with an instructor trying to get current again. So in my head, I'm going, watch out. We're going down the runway, we hit the wash, and all of a sudden I'm feeling myself get yanked here that way, and I'm getting yanked more. I mean, you get yanked a little. I was getting more than usual. I looked in the rearview mirror, that 233 was sitting out there almost 90 degrees to the ground over by the trees. I reached down to pull, and right when I got my hand on the handle, the rope broke. I would have swore that 233 was going to be in the trees. It didn't. It was turned off, and they just came around and landed, and they were fine. But you know, I was pulling, and thank goodness I did, because I mean, he was out that hard. So sideways can do it as well. But you saw those when they tend to get sideways, what happens next? They balloon. You saw that in our video, and you saw the other. When somebody gets that far in whack, they're going to go out, and then they're not going to be in your mirror. That's the reason why they say your tail goes up, you pull. Because if you lose them and your tail goes up, you got to pull, because that means they're hiding you. It's anybody else. So I've released once in tow because I didn't want to kite. Has anybody else had to release because they were getting out of whack? Maybe I will. Hopefully, you done?
I did.
I
Mine wasn't because I got out of whack. Mine was because the tow pilot thought I'd gotten off. And all of a sudden, all I see is the top surface of the elevators and then the bottom of the tow plane.
Oh. Wow.
But it's one of those things where you always have to be alert,
Yes. Yeah. You always have to be alert. Yeah.
and the hand should stay close to the release.
Yes. Yeah. And be able to get to it. Yeah. I know, Rob, you guys, I know you tell me how you even lengthened your release rope, and because you've got your hand over here so you guys can grab it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
fantastic.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago when I took off, I had forgot my side window.
Yeah.
And it was that quick of a distraction. I'm over the trees and I reach over to close that and lost sight of them. I didn't release. I found the tow plane,
Yeah.
but I did get higher than I should have. So yeah, that was a
It's a good point.
good reminder of, okay, next time don't get distracted, number one.
Yeah.
Don't screw with the radio, don't do other
Got it.
stuff, just keep your eye on the tow plane.
One time I was taking off in the DG and Tony was towing that day. And for some reason, I drew the lucky straw of the roughest takeoff tow that we had all day long. Well, before then, I forgot something. I had to get it out of my pocket. I'm wearing a parachute, and you got that latch and you got the 5-point harness latch, and so I'm undoing this and I'm reaching my pocket to get it, put it all back together. Okay, I'm good to go. We go down and we hit a bumpity thump going. And that's when I found out my shoulder harnesses weren't all the way engaged and the left one came out. And I went, oh crap. Well, what do? Fly the tow plane, put your hand on the strap, hang on to it. If you need to, release and land. But, like I said, don't try to reinsert it. Just, fly. They always say, fly the glider, always fly the glider. But that could have been the same thing. Easy distraction. Oh yeah, reach down for a second, try to do that. Nah. No, and you're going to see that's a common killer. So as we talked about, it isn't who, it's what. Any distraction, something unexpected. Event opened up. Yeah, you would think that closing the event would not do it, but it's amazing how far things get out in a nanosecond when you do event. Canopy open or flew off. What do you do if a canopy comes off? Fly the glider. Your choice, stay on tow or release to get down now. You can stay on so you can come back to the runway. If you're not high enough, your choice, but fly the glider. And if you can't fly the glider safely by tow plane, release, because you'll be able to fly it and put it in the field or back on the runway. I had to set the computer. Oh, there was another one. There was another kiting. This is back in 2012, I think. Fairly new tow pilot. instructor, I think they were in the Grove. Anyway, instructor and student, they had a GoPro going. Instructor and the student was not a brand new student. Student had time, so the instructor trusted the student. And they were taking off, and the instructor went to adjust the GoPro, and when he looked back, there was no tow plane, and he released. He released at the exact same time the tow pilot released, and the tow pilot released because his tail got pulled up, and they dropped the rope. That's one of the other ones that was an near miss. And yeah, like you said, the instructor took his eyes off for a nanosecond, trusted the student, probably some gust of wind or some thermal hit. Student didn't react quick enough. And student did not know to pull, obviously, because the instructor had to pull it. So distractions, like I said, seatbelt comes with turbulent air, what I call the rotors or the washing machine effect down here. And just because you watch somebody else go through it doesn't mean it's the same for you. When I almost tied to that tow plane, that's the first time I've ever been in tow. You always know what you're going to do based on the tow plane. I've always been able to react and match it. That's the first time I reacted and matched it, and he just went chunk. I don't know if he hit sync or what it was. I'd never seen that happen, but it did, which says it can happen. Okay. Sorry, I probably talked too fast. Okay. So bottom line, my dad used to tell me this when instructed me on airplanes with retractable gear. There's those who have and those who will. Yeah, you've heard that one, haven't you, from your dad? There are those who have kited or pre-kited someplace, and there are those who will. It will happen to you. Someday you will get in a situation where you're going to need to pull, and it may not be your fault, but it will happen to you. Fly enough, I guarantee you it will happen. I didn't think it did happen. And be prepared. Release quickly. Do not wait. It's got to be a reflex pull, and then your mind will take over. You know exactly what to do. You'll see what you see, and you'll react to it. It's amazing how your training kicks in. Always immediate release if the tow plane is out of sight or is going out of sight. Do not wait. Do not wait. Like I said, every single instance, glider pilot will live. You release and you didn't kite the tow plane, like Bob Wentz says, I didn't kite. I tell you, I did, because I know that thing was tight when I did it. It was hard to pull. He didn't feel it. Well, I thought that was good, but don't hesitate.
It's always best if you can have a mistake and the tow pilot doesn't know that you had a mistake.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I had a mistake and he didn't know it because he never felt it. And that's the key. You don't want the tow pilot to feel it. Now, we had a FERCA, which is, they came in for instructors, flight review. They did a whole several hours, Rob, you were there on this. They actually took up tow planes and gliders and said 1,500 feet is what it took to get out of once it went too far and they could release 1,500 feet. So even though you may not be close to the runway, all the way up, if it happens, you got to treat it such, because even if you're 1,000 foot off the ground, you can still kill the pilot all the way up to 2,000 feet off the ground. So it's one of those things that's I take to heart because I'm a go pilot. I really don't want to go out that way. Anyway, questions, thoughts, good info? Bad info?
Yes.
Yeah, very well done.
Oh, thanks, Bob. It's just a different, I mean, there's a lot of things you can read about on this. I just took a little bit different approach to it, because I thought, no matter who you are, it's what happens. It isn't who you are, and it's not your fault. It's what happens. And then it's your choice of what to do with it.
So 25 or 30 years ago, then we had burning one, that's the headlights or something like that.
Ray Sharp.
It was very sharp.
Did they break?
Yeah,
He was checking the braking strength of them and checking ropes that were in service, what the braking strength was.
we do that, engineer some of this, or
No.
No, because everybody kind of knows what size you can use and what it will break at, and then it wears it breaks perfect.
yeah. So these brakes were luck, or were they engineered?
Well, I would say, my guess is,
Ours was locked.
because my guess is that was a worn rope.
Mhm.
If it had been a new rope, that 213 would have had a harder time with it. Yeah. And if you notice, when they break and they come back on the 230, whatever, you're just about 6 or 7 feet. That's kind of common because that's where it rubs, that area. But yeah, yeah. I would say that's pure luck.
And the other thing that we can do, we run the risk of trading one problem for another. But instead of making, lead links to the upper end of the allowable, make them towards the lower end of the allowable.
Yeah.
Because the maximum load that goes into the rope is, if you fly well, the maximum load that goes into the rope is when you first start accelerating.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's that initial pull, yeah.
Because that's when the tow plane has maximum thrust.
Mhm.
When the constant speed prop comes off the low pitch stop,
Mhm.
from there on up, thrust is going down.
Mhm.
So its ability to pull is going down after that.
And what's interesting, I've seen several rope breaks that had happened within 50 feet of launch. Yeah, that clunk, you know.
Mhm.
So, yeah, good put. Good put. The other thing I'll give you a side issue. It made me think about another issue I had with my glider and the tow pilot and the tow plane, and it wasn't the tow pilot's fault. And all I can do is take the best guess of what it was. And that is my Duster uses a Schweitzer ring. The only thing I can figure is Bill Seed used to have the rings made out here by the locals because it was cheaper. They weren't exactly as smooth or exactly the same diameter. Anyway, I was in tow and I could not release. I tried and I tried and I could not release. And the tow pilot finally heard me enough. He couldn't hear enough on the radio. Biggest surprise of my life. So all of a sudden, kind of like you said, I saw him nose down and he pulled the release. And also I see this metal coming out my canopy, on the other end of the rope. Well, I knew I could turn. So something I learned, because a lot of things go through your head when something like that happens. I've never been taught, what do you do if you got a tow rope to your glider? Anybody know what to do if you have a tow rope stuck on your glider and you got to land with it?
Fly a high pattern,
Yeah, don't hit the tree. Don't hit the trees, number one.
high final.
Yeah, high final. Do you know what it does to your CG and what it does to your flying characteristics of your glider? Absolutely nothing. I mean, I was so paranoid. I'm trying to do all this engineering stuff in my head, CG and all that. I'm doing 80 knots, and there's a little glider, so I'm fast enough to if I'm out of CG, I got enough control force to take care of it. Because I didn't know if I had a rope or not. And I called on the ground and nobody could tell when I flew over the downwind whether I had a rope. So I assumed I had a rope, like you said, high over the trees. Because if you catch that rope on a tree, you're going to die because it's going to flip you over and you're going to land on your head. Well, I landed and guess what? No tow rope. So however it got wedged up there, when that thing came slingshot back and went, it had enough force going the other way, it back released it. I never could find the tow rope. That's how I was going to go check the ring, but I never could find the tow rope. But that's one of the other surprises I had, when you can't release. And the tow pilot did exactly what he should have done. I couldn't release because I wasn't going to go land behind him. I needed him to release me. And we were high enough and I could make it to the runway easy. I just needed it to be let go. And so he did. So another one of those.
I had that happen with me on the 233 with Frank O'Donnell, I think, was instructor.
Really? And it wouldn't release?
The auto tow.
Yeah.
Well, broke. Neither of us pulled the release and we heard it get ripped out as it went through the trees. Right down here.
On downwind, you scared the deer out.
Oh.
I remember that. I was there.
You were here?
Deer did.
The rope broke and you didn't know you were dragging the rope.
Well, we should have pulled the release because that would have been, common sense, right? But we didn't.
You don't think about it, yeah.
Didn't think about it.
Did you know you had a rope on the underneath you?
No.
You didn't know?
It didn't feel anything.
Because you went up just like you just.
Yeah, we were, full stick forward because we were probably three, maybe 500 feet.
Okay.
They were high enough, they pitched over, did a 90 over and 90 on the downwind, and a normal downwind baseball.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But we were high.
Yeah.
But that length was really long. It was in the trees it was. I don't know if we ever got it out of the trees.
Because on auto tow, the rope that drags the ground the most is at tow vehicle.
Yes.
On air tow, the rope that drags the ground the most is at the glider.
Yep. Yeah.
So you'll break them at different places.
Good point. Oh, I see. You got a lot longer rope.
Really long. I saw
I
it.
thought of that.
I remember it being there. I don't know if we ever got it out. We just left it.
Interesting.
Because it was just through the hole. It was really long.
You guys online have anything?
No, I thought the kiting discussion was excellent.
I hope I didn't talk too fast. I have a bad habit of that, so.
For your efforts.
Oh, you're welcome. It was, you know, I thought I knew a lot about, and I meant on seminars, but when you go read the NTSBs and you start, I'm an analyst at heart, you know, engineer type like everybody else out here. You try to find these common, or what thread can you find? And that's what I figured out was the thread wasn't in who's in what. And the what can happen to anybody. And that's what makes it so dangerous.
The interesting thing to me, the video of the one at Byron,
Yes.
he does not pitch the tail of the tow plane up.
Uh-uh.
He just takes his energy
You
away
got
and the tow plane eventually stalls.
Yeah, you did, the tow plane was not up. You could see it in that picture. It was flat, but he's, like you said, it's taken away the airspeed. And you will stall.
If you watch the video,
Yeah.
you see the glider go up, the tow plane stays level, the
Yeah.
glider levels off well above him, and the tow plane starts a slow level descent.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then he's holding there, and then nothing happens, and all of a sudden, the nose of the tow plane
Yeah,
drops.
stalls and,
Hmm.
yeah. And several of these, when you get the details, often there's stall spins. I mean, very low to the ground, but stall wing dips when it stalls.
Hmm.
And then that's what, you know, you're for sure gonna die there because then you're on top of you're upside down.
That's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of, you know, stealing the airspeed, yes,
Yeah.
but, and then it not being able to recover, you know, because if you're both going like this and not thinking that, oh,
He
crap,
should, you'd think that he would have been able to accelerate. The 126 probably took enough speed away that he was now backside of the power curve
right,
and therefore could not accelerate
yeah,
without dumping the nose. And when you're slow and not very high, you're not inclined to dump the nose.
Yep.
yeah,
Because you don't want to run to the ground.
Right,
Fear, yeah.
right. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, you never think about, yeah, you're stealing the airspeed away and you can just stall that airplane level flight, yeah.
And as to,
But the glider is accelerating, so.
Right, he's going
Yeah.
faster than he
Well-
should be. He's got, yeah,
well, the glider increased its kinetic energy
Yeah.
and its potential.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
And that's why the glider pilot always, because he's got more altitude, more time, more LVD, everything. He's banked, he
Well,
stole it from the plane.
and he's also in a level flight condition and the tow plane is usually nose down.
Normally nose down.
And if it's not nose down, it very soon will be.
Yeah. Well, you even saw in ours, the 175, you saw how fast that tail went up.
yeah,
It went up and if that rope wouldn't have broke, ooh, yeah. It'd have been a different ending.
just physics, right?
Just physics, yeah, and you can't beat physics. Yeah, that's the problem. You cannot, that's what we can't beat physics. No matter what you try to do, you think you can't.
And the interesting thing of the one NTSB report where the guy says the tow plane lurched forward.
Yeah.
No, I think he got thrown forward by being decelerated
Yeah,
and pitched nose down, so the gravity vector is.
that's what I took it. We said it lurched, it was him lurching forward in the plane. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's how I took that. Exactly.
Well, and the part we really haven't talked about is the tow pilots. And once they get in that position, not being able to grab
Yes.
to release because you guys are
Forced up
into
against the dash, yeah.
into the yoke or whatever, and not being able to
Yeah,
pull.
up and forward.
Yeah,
And unless you're 2,000 feet, you're
To that
dead.
tow pilot's credit, he did pull the release.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
he did before he crashed.
He got it pulled.
He did. Yeah, it was 75 feet behind the plane, if I remember right, something like that, yeah. Yeah, he did. And on ours, the guy pulled it, like you said, it released because of the broken rope, for some reason why. That's the other thing people don't realize. You get enough off to the side and you put a bind on it, or you get high enough on it, you can put it in a bind such that it doesn't take the same force, it takes a lot more if you can release it all. But anyway, those are the subtle facts, but, you know. Just trying to keep everybody aware, so they think about it, just make it a reflex. I guarantee you'll come out fine.
The only one that I'm aware of that didn't come out fine to the glider pilot was out in western Kansas, a guy named Harold Kennedy had built a glider called the KW. It was Aranca Chief wings and a cut down fuselage, and Harold was flying the tow plane. And I think the tow plane was a 65 horse T-craft. And the guy in the glider got killed because he pulled the wings off the glider.
Yeah.
He went high and pulled as they were climbing. And Harold said that they're going along climbing fine, and the next thing I know, the Taylor craft has diagonal steel tubes up inside the windshield. He said, the next thing I knew, my head was up in those tubes.
Hmm.
So it decelerated him rapidly, pitched him nose down because the wing is not making lift equal to weight, so it starts to fall. The airplane stalls, he's decelerating, and he went up and forward into the windshield.
But you said the glider, because it pulled the wings off.
Yeah.
Just like that, but it's been done before on aerotow, I'm sorry, on aerotow, car launch. If it's not set for it, the wrong way, you pull, it's, well, they did it down in Winfield decades ago, I guess, pulled the wings off a glider, doing auto tow, I was trying to say. And then, oh, I thought that's what I heard. Okay.
Nope.
Okay, I heard wrong.
Yep, you heard wrong.
Okay, how'd they pull the wings off?
They didn't.
Oh, they didn't? Okay.
Guy spun a TG2 in after an auto tow.
Okay, but they didn't pull the wings off. Okay, I heard them pull the wings off. That always made me nervous about auto tow. All right. Well, thanks everyone for attending.
Yeah.
Good
you.
comments.
So is that an SSF graphic?
Yes,
Tug decelerates rapidly.
yes.
I'm glad they're realizing the energy exchange.
Yeah, that's off of the,
Because they started off talking about, oh, you pull the tail up. And they think, well, you're stalling the tail. It's like, no, it's a big increase in kinetic energy of the glider. It's an increase in potential energy of the glider. And the only place that can come from is slowing down the tow plane.
I guarantee if you get into that position right there, 800 feet's not a good job. I guarantee it, not from that position. 800 feet's not enough. Maybe if you got a ag tractor or something, turbo prop, but you're not gonna get out of this 800 feet.
Well, and you're more likely to get to F with a rope that is 200% of the gross weight
Yes,
of the glider being towed than if it's 80%.
you got it. Weaker is safer to a degree.
Yeah.
Really is.
Weaker will protect the tow pilot.
Yep. Well put.
And one other thing don't have anything to 100% back it up because the SW27 did it. But generally speaking, gliders that are towed at well above their stall speed have more potential for pulling G's and more potential for applying drag, more potential for extracting the power from the tow plane and from slowing them down.
Yeah.
Because if you're only flying at 1.1 times stall speed,
yeah,
you can't put much G on, so you can't put much load into the rope.
True.
But if you're flying at 2.5 times stall speed, you can pull it really, really hard on
And
it.
fast, yeah.
So in some respects, it is easier to make that happen with a 126 than just about anything else.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because the 126 is towed at two times plus its stall speed.
Yeah, at 65, yeah, yeah.
So it has a greater load pulling capability
That's interesting.
than a glider that's being towed at 1.3, 1.4 times its stall speed.
Good put.
But in either case,
Yeah.
a rope that breaks towards the bottom end of the allowable provides a better fusible link to protect the tow pilot
Yep.
than one that breaks at the upper end.
Yes. So hopefully we didn't scare you from being a tow pilot. This was. But it's just good to know. That way you know, because if you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what to do or what's happening to you. So, why it happens and why it happens so fast. It's the part that amazed me the most was the 2 seconds. They talked about in the first one. I go, no way. And then I looked at that video, 2 seconds, and that was that far out. So it like you said, a blink of an eye, you just look over here, look back, and you're out of wax. Amazing. All right.